7th class students, D2 Maths. Let's come to the chapter number 1. It's about direct and inverse proportions. Okay, what is proportions? Firstly, we will discuss about what is proportion. Proportion is a statement which is expressed as equivalence of two ratios. A proportion is a statement which is expressed as equivalence of two ratios. Here question is, what is ratio? Ratio, a relation between two quantities of the same kind, is called a ratio. Means, in short words or in easy words, if we are comparing two quantities of the same kind, then we can say that a relation between these two same quantities is called ratio. Now we will discuss about direct proportion. If two quantities are related in such a way that increase in one quantity cause increase in the other quantity is called direct proportion. Means, in easy words, I'll discuss it. If two quantities are related in such a way that when one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases, so then we will say that it is direct proportion. Direct proportion cleared. Now come to the inverse proportion. If two quantities are related in such a way that when one quantity increases, the other decreases, is called inverse proportion. Means, in direct proportion, if we are comparing two same quantities and one is increasing and other is also increasing, one is decreasing, other is also decreasing. In inverse proportion, if one is increasing, other is decreasing. If one is decreasing, other is increasing. 7th class students, D2 Maths, exercise number 1A, basic level. Question number 1. 108 identical books have a mass of 30 kg. Find, two questions are required here, the mass of 150 such books, and find the number of such books that have a mass of 20 kg. Now, first of all, in this question, you need to identify that two quantities, mass and books. Mass and books are related directly or inversely. Now you will increase the number of books, the mass will increase. So increase in one quantity results in increase in the other quantity, that is direct proportion. So direct proportion, both are in direct proportion. We replace the symbol, that is, we replace the symbol of proportionality with equality by inserting k. By inserting k, which is constant. K is constant here and the rest will be same. So first of all, you need to develop an equation in order to solve the question. Now when you have developed an equation, that is equation basically, when you have developed an equation, then you need to find the value of k. We need to find the value of k by putting this data in this equation. 108 identical books. How many books we have? Books for B for books. That is 108 and mass is 30 kg. We will place these both values in equation 1. and we will find the value of k. Okay, now what do we need? Basically we need k 108 divided by 30 is equal to k. Whenever we have found the value of k, now come to the part 1. In part 1, the mass is 150 and we need books. The mass of 150 such books. Now come to the part 1. The mass of 150 such books means we have to find mass and books are given. B denotes books. Mass we have to find in part 1 and books are given. So we will put these values in equation, and in this way we can find the value of mass. That is B is equal to K into mass. What is the value of B? B is 150. And what is K? K value, you know, already we have found 108 by 30 into mass. Mass we have to find. So in this way, what should we do now? We should multiply 150 with 30. 150 with 30 equal to 108 into mass. Now it's 150 multiplied by 30 is equal to 108 into mass. That will be 4500 and 108 into mass. We need mass here, so 108 will be divided here. You have calculators, you can find the value. It will be round about 46.41.66 kg or 41 whole 2 by 3 kg. That's the mass of part 1. Now moving ahead, moving towards part 2, as part 2 is the number of such books that have a mass of 20 kg. Means we have to find the number of books here, and mass is 20 kg given. So let's start again from that basic equation, that is P is equal to K into mass. B we have to find, K value is 108 by 30 into mass is given 20. Let's cut here. 3 3s are 9, 3 6 are, so B is equal to 36 multiplied by 2. B is equal to 72 books. It's the answer of part 2. We obtained answer of part 2. Moving towards question number 2, students, 7th class students, attention. In a bookstore, 60 identical books occupy a length of 1.5 meter on a shelf. 2 questions are required. Find the length occupied by 50 such books on a shelf and the number of such books needed to completely occupy a shelf that is 80 centimeter long. First of all, we have to identify that both quantities are related directly or inversely proportional. If we will increase the number of books, obviously the length required will also increase. So L will be equal to 50 by 40, and that is equal to L. Cut 0, both cut to each other, that is equal to L. And dividing 5 into 4, 1 by 4, 0, 2 is 8, 2, 20. So L is equal to 1.25 meter. That is length of part 1. Length of part 1. Moving towards part 2. The number of such books needed to completely occupy a shelf that is 80 centimeter long. In part 2, we have to find number of books whereas length is given. But in part 1, we have to find length and books are given. Length is equal to 80 centimeter, whereas length is given in centimeter. Here length is in meter, so we should convert into meter first. To convert into meter, centimeter into meter, we will divide it by 100. That will be 0.8 meter. Number of books we have to find. Same expression, we will use K into N. Books are required to find K value, but K value is there. K value we already found, that is 40. It's still constant. So P is equal to 40 into 0.8. It's definitely 32 books. Answer for part 2, P is equal to 32 books, which was required to find with the help of books, with the help of length. Okay, students, come to the question number 3, exercise number 1A. If x is directly proportional to y and x is equal to 4.5 when y is equal to 3, they have given us that x and y are in directly proportion. And find 3 questions are required to find an equation connecting x and y, find the value of x when y is given, find the value of y when x is given. Okay, so first of all, we should take them in direct proportion. They are in direct proportion, both x and y. So x is equal to ky. We will replace this sign with proportionality constant k. X is directly proportional, already is given, so both values are given. These both values are given to find the value of k. So x value is 4.5 k as it is, and y value is 3. We need to find k. So how to find k? K is equal to 4.5 by 3. move this, we will remove this point with 10, 45 by 30, k will be equal to 3 by 2. K is 3 by 2. Now come to the part 1, an equation connecting x and y. This is basic equation. We want to find to connect x and y. What's the value of k here? 3 by 2 into y. It's part 1 answer. These x and y are connecting. X and y are connecting. 3 by 2 is value of k is placed here. Okay students, in part 2 x we have to find, x is required and y is given. It's given data. With the same equation, k value is 3 by 2 and y is 6. So x is equal to 9. Moving ahead, part 3. Y we have to find, and x is equal to 12. The same expression listing the value of x as well. We will multiply them both. Three fours are 12. That's 8. So y is equal to 8. It's our required answer for part 2.